Who among you here brains got so bored this quarantine and decided to go to hardware to buy paint then decorate their room because aesthetic is a must and it is a trend?
Oh, come on, guys. Just raise your hand. Thank you.
Now, all jokes aside, let us discuss about paint as a material. I am Quinigay Samcastor and let me introduce to you my co-speakers.
Hi, I'm Kim Frances P. Herrera.
Hi, I'm Yancy Yadin Menjola Alicer.
Now that you've met our speakers, let us proceed to our lesson proper. Paint, by definition, is a coating applied to a surface or substrate to decorate, to protect, or to perform some other specialized functions. There are 4 ingredients found in a paint, namely pigment, vehicle, additives, solvent. The vehicle gives continuity film and provides adhesion to the surface or substrate. The solvent is a low viscosity volatile liquid that is used to improve the application. The pigment are solid grains or particles of uniform and controlled sizes. Additives are ingredients formulated in the paint to modify the properties of either the vehicle or the pigmentation, or the both. Generally, a good quality paint is pricey in comparison to the poorer one, but in terms of coverage and overall performance, it is, without a doubt, cheaper. Here are some specific properties that a good quality paint possesses. Number 1 is adhesion. A coating must stick into the surface to bring other properties into work. Number 2 is application. A paint must be easily applied in accordance with the method as prescribed by the manufacturer. 3. Film integrity. The cured or dried film must have all the film properties as claimed. 4. Consistency quality. Paint must be consistent in quality such as color, viscosity, application, and durability from can to can, batch by batch, shipment by shipment. 5. Specific properties which differs depending on what kind of paint that is.
Now I have here some example of materials used in painting and their requirements. Number 1, we have natural wood paste or filler. Wood paste filler should be quality filler ready mixed in a can for filling and sealing open grains of interior wood. It shall produce a level of finish for succeeding coats of paint, varnish, or lacquer and other related products. Number 2, we have varnish. A varnish should be extremely durable clear coating, highly resistant to wear and tear without cracking, peeling, whitening, spotting, with minimum loss of gloss for a maximum period of time. Number 3, we have lacquer. Lacquer shall be clear gloss, solid nutricellulose base, specially formulated for use in tropics. It shall exhibit fast solvent release and dries to a hard but flexible film with high gloss effect. Number 4, we have sanding sealer. Sanding sealer shall be a quality sealer for wood surfaces that provides a non-absorbent base for color treatment which are applied on it. It shall exhibit good holdout and sealing properties, fast drying, and easy to smooth out by sandpaper. And lastly, we have concrete neutralizer. Neutralizer shall be quality surface conditioner to be diluted with water to neutralize lime activity in new exterior and interior concrete surfaces, improving paint adhesion and durability.
And now, I'll have the next speaker, Kim Herrera, take over the report.
Before all painting works begin, the contractor shall examine, prepare, and condition all surfaces prior to any paint application and varnishing. This pre-application process is significant in order to guarantee a quality painting work. In surface preparation, it is important to determine the following. 1. Examine the condition of the surface. 2. the material of the surface. Is it wood, concrete, or metal? 3. The surface porosity or the texture of the surface. It is specified that all surfaces shall be cleaned and in proper condition before painting application. For wood materials, surfaces shall be sandpapered and checked for wood defects prior to coating. Surface treatment for plaster or masonry materials shall undergo the process of drying before any sealer or paint is applied, allowed to dry for at least 30 days prior to painting. For metals, surfaces shall be clean, dry, and free from mill scale, grease, and rust, as it will cause paint to fail prematurely. And for concrete and brick surfaces, wire brushed cleaning shall be done to remove dirt, loose and excess mortar, and foreign materials. Preparing the condition of the surface involves cleaning, and not just any cleaning, but specific cleaning methods that are suitable for the surface material. We have the sandblasting method. 3 general methods fall under sandblasting: the conventional dry sandblasting, the vacuum sandblasting, and the wet sandblasting. Now we'll learn on how to estimate our paints. If 1 gallon of quick drying enamel covers 30 to 40 square meters surface area, it means that it has a minimum of 30 and a maximum of 40 square meters, depending upon the texture of the surface to be painted. Surface texture will be classified into 3 categories, such as a coarse to rough surface, which has 30 square meters area coverage, a fine to coarse surface with 35 square meters, and a smooth to fine surface with 40 square meters. Also, we will add 10% allowance factor for safe estimation. This is the general formula in estimating paint. The total liters of paint is equal to the quantity of area of the surface divided by the spread rate or the area coverage, all multiplied by the number of coats. Let's have an example. A concrete firewall measures 30 meters long and 12 meters high. Determine the number of gallons or 4 liters content required using acrylic gloss latex paint if the wall is A. Wooden trowel finish with a coarse to rough surface, B. Paper finished with a fine to coarse surface, and C. Putty finish with a fine to smooth surface texture. From the problem, it is indicated that a concrete firewall will be painted with an acrylic gloss latex paint, concrete as the material of the surface. We will now consider the 3 categories of surface texture or porosity: the coarse to rough, fine to coarse, and fine to smooth. We will estimate how much gallons of paint are required for a coarse to rough surface. The first step is to solve for the surface area, which is a firewall with a width of 30 meters and a height of 12 meters. Multiplying the dimensions, we will get an area of 360 square meters. Next, using the 30 to 40 square meters area coverage per 4 liters of the acrylic gloss latex paint listed from the manufacturer's specifications, we will divide it to the total surface area. And for a coarse to rough surface, we will use 30 square meters. So, 300 square meters divided by 30 square meters equals 25 gallons of paint. We will then multiply it to the number of coatings. With 2 coatings, simply multiply it by 2. For safe estimation, we will add 10% allowance factor. With the obtained 24 gallons acrylic latex paint, add 2.4 allowance factor to get the estimated number of gallons of paint required. The same process is used to solve for a fine to coarse and a fine to smooth surface. But instead of using 30 square meters for the area coverage as used for the coarse to rough surface, we will use the corresponding area coverage for each surface texture. Remember, a coarse to rough surface has a 30 square meters area coverage, a fine to coarse surface has 35 square meters, and a fine to smooth surface has 40 square meters. With that, simply substitute the area coverage of the surface to the process of estimation. For wood materials and metals, same process is used except for solving for concrete neutralizer. And when paint thinner is required, refer to the paint manufacturer's specification. If it has 1/2 liters of water per 4 liters required paint thinner, multiply it to the obtained quantity of paint required in gallons. For general computation, use the middle interval of the area coverage of paint. So if it has 40 to 50 square meters area coverage, use 45 square meters in solving. This is used except for concrete finishes with different surface textures.
Paint failures and remedy. Blistering or peeling occurs when the moisture trapped in the wood evaporates when exposed to sun or heat. For its remedy, locate and eliminate the sources of moisture. Scrap off old paint around the blistered area. Let dry and apply good primer. Then, final paint of good quality. Chalking is when the paint is too thin for the required film. For the remedy, be more generous for the paint. Spend a little more for 2 coatings. Flaking is the result of inadequate or poor surface preparation. The paint flakes off in scales or powdered and chalked off. For the remedy, scrap off the paint on affected area, then seal all cracks against moisture. Apply good primer, then apply final coat. Peeling or cracking indicates the use of improper metal primer or no primer applied. For the remedy, strip off the paint and clean with solvent. Dry and then apply galvanized paint. Fading is a normal behavior of paint. However, if fading is too fast and excessive, that means you applied a poor kind of paint. For the remedy, repaint and be sure to buy the best of paint brand. Remember that good paint contains more and better pigment. Cracking and alligatoring occurs when the paint was applied in several heavy coats, not observing the sufficient drying time between coats. For the remedy, remove the paint and clean the surface properly. Apply good kind of primer, then final coat. Peeling or cracking indicates the use of improper metal primer or no primer applied. For the remedy, strip off the paint and clean with solvent. Dry and then apply galvanized paint. Bleeding is the result of inadequate sealing of the surface at the first application of paint. For the remedy, scrap off the surface, then repaint. Mildew thrives on high humidity and temperature. The fungus are stimulated and grows on the paint film. For the remedy, wash the surface with mildew wash solution diluted with water. Scrub the surface and rinse with clean water. Let dry for 48 hours, then apply final coat. Staining is an effect of wood preservative or rust of nails. For remedy, remove the paint on affected areas. Remove rust on nails, then apply lead primer to metal and wood primer. After that, apply final coat with good quality paint. Lastly is checking and flaking, which is caused by expansion or contraction of wood. For remedy, scrap off old paint around the affected area. Let dry and apply good primer. Then, final paint of good quality. Wallpapering. The term wallpaper refers not only to paper substances that are pasted on walls and ceiling, but also includes vinyl, cork, fabrics, foils, and many other surface covering materials. For the caution in buying vinyl wallpaper, examine the label if it is pure or vinyl coated only. Never confuse them with vinyl wallpaper. In buying vinyl wallpaper adhesive, always use and specify vinyl mildew resistance adhesive only. Foil. Foil is another type of wallpaper simulated metallic finish or aluminum laminated paper. Do not fold or wrinkle the foil because there is no remedy to crease. Smooth surface is required to avoid reflective surfaces. Wallpaper estimating procedures. First is to determine the surface area to receive wallpaper. Subtract the area openings such as doors, windows, and etc. Divide the net wall area by the effective covering of the wallpaper size as presented in table to find the number of roll. Add 5 to 10% allowance depending upon the design pattern. Multiply the number of rolls by the corresponding amount of adhesive to get the number of boxes required. For specifications on measurement and payment, all quantity to be paid shall be measured by the total area in square meters of the various concrete, wood, and metal surfaces painted complete as shown on the plans as specified and accepted by the architect and engineer. All accepted work shall be paid at the unit bid price, which price and payments shall constitute full composition for furnishing all materials, equipment, labor, tools, and incidentals necessary to complete.